Salutations, mortals and children of the night. I am the Vampire Otaku. Welcome to my channel. Sad to say, spooky month is over. Had a really good time. It was pretty chill. I watched a few movies, read a few books, and just kind of enjoyed the weather changing. And it changed so abruptly here in Minneapolis. So many leaves fell off the trees so quickly. They changed colors very quickly, very beautifully. So I didn't really get a chance to do a lot because this 31-day month felt like 2 weeks, which is ridiculous. Anyway, in this video, I want to talk about the 10 reasons why you should curate your own home library. Now, I know that everyone doesn't have the privilege to collect this many books or to even consistently have a place to call home where they can collect things. You know, when I was younger, I used to constantly move from place to place to place. And as I collected things, I lost things along the way. And it really discouraged me on collecting books and just collecting things in general. I decided to collect things and collect books anyway because I just enjoy it so much, and I don't want to let outside predicaments affect the way that I live my life and the things that I collect and the things that I enjoy. So if you're anything like me, these 10 reasons may resonate with you. If they don't, I hope that one day you could possibly try it. Maybe collect a few books or collect plushies, cards, anything. Collecting things is so fun. That being said, here's reason number 1. I think that having a home library is a very peaceful place. It basically is like a second home within your home. You know, you don't have your TV, video games, you don't have any electronics. It's just analog. You know, you and your books, you and your comic books, your manga, your literature, and it's simplistic and it's peaceful. Number 2, it makes any boring wall look aesthetic. Number 3, it kind of makes you look smart. You walk into someone's house and they have a library. You know, it's like, wow. And then you look at the contents of the library and you're like, oh, okay. You know, these are things you're into, which leads into number 3. You get to really learn a lot about a person's personality and their interests and what they are without even really talking to them. If you look behind me, you'll see a lot of books, a lot of manga that are kind of eclectic. So if you connect that to me as a person, you can see that I have a lot of varying tastes and a lot of varying ideas. But vampires are most important to me. That's why Vampire Otaku. I have a whole section up there dedicated to it, and an entire novel collection dedicated to it as well. Number 4, having a home library is something that essentially brings value to your home. Books are worth money. If you're ever in a tight space, books can be sold, they can be traded, and that's always a helpful thing. Some books are rare, worth a lot of money. So I believe anything that you're collecting is worth your time simply because of the merit of the value. Number 5, the knowledge, the wealth of knowledge. Even though I'm drowning in manga behind me, there's so much knowledge in those books. There's so many ideas. As a writer, I open up those books, I see beautiful art, but I also see really interesting characters, really interesting settings. They're not all high school. Some of them are in the office. Some of them are, you know, at other jobs. Some of them are supernatural. There's so many different settings and ideas. And they're not all in Japan, which is really cool. Like Fullmetal Alchemist, I think, is in Germany or somewhere. I know definitely Monster is in Germany. So that's a fun thing. Number 6, another great thing about having a home library is if you have other friends that are into books, you can trade books. You know, you're almost a literal library if you trust your friends, if you trust people that you're close to. your family and whatnot, you can lend out your books. And it'd be really cute, like an actual library. So you can share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the books, infect other people with the collection virus. Number 7, you have if you're a creative and you have a home library, whether you're a writer or an artist or a musician, whatever the case may be, sometimes reading can inspire you in ways that aren't necessarily connected to writing. Sometimes when I read a book, I want to draw. Sometimes when I read a book, I want to paint, I want to draw, I want to write. It sparks so many different creative flares in me. I have a manga about dancing, and that manga makes me want to learn how to dance. So that's another cool aspect. Number 8, another reason to have a home library is because if you ever want to unwind, sometimes watching TV can be overstimulating, or it can almost turn you into a potato where you're just sitting there and falling asleep. But I feel when I'm reading, my imagination is working, so I'm not overstimulated, but I'm also working my cognitive brain, basically. I'm working the left side and the right side of my brain, the imagination, and just kind of dissecting the dialogue and the character flaws, the character descriptions, the way that the author tends to, or the mangaka tends to show setting, show plot, show character development, show a lot of other amazing aspects. I tend to relax better while I'm reading versus watching TV or watching YouTube or playing video games. Number 9, another reason to have a home library is you'll never have nothing to do. You'll always have books. If you're sad, if you're bored, if you're kind of over all the other activities that you do, books are just there. Awesome. I want to say another great aspect of having a home library and starting a home library is the journey. It's like you start off with like 5 or 6 books and you get to use your imagination. What kind of library do I want? Do I want it to be all nonfiction? Do I want it to be fiction? Do I want it to be cookbooks? Do I want to have this section nonfiction, this section comic books, this section supernatural? You get to decide how you want to curate your library. In my case, I'm a manga YouTuber, so I have a lot of manga behind me, but I want to also incorporate novels into my manga because I love both of them equally. I love how descriptive you can be with only words, where you as the reader have to create the image of the characters and the setting in your mind. But I also like manga, how the mangaka creates the image for me, and then with my imagination I think of, what voice actor would this character be? They have a 5 o'clock shadow, so maybe their voice is a little rough. This character is really small, but what if their voice was a little deeper? That'd be interesting. So it just triggers different aspects of my imagination, and I appreciate both forms. And I think that people who only do one or the other are missing out. It's your library though. And that's tip number 10. Your library that you create is your own. No one has the same library as you. Like, there's nobody else that has every single book that I have. Like, my library is uniquely my own. And it is that way because I bought a friend's book. I have the entire Vampire Chronicles collection in hardcover that was special to me. I just don't know people that have mangas with their novels and in graphic novels as well. I just love the mixture. I love that it's uniquely me, how I'm eclectic when it comes to my reading. And some people, they only have novels, or I saw one person have an entire section that's just dictionaries, just different dictionaries. I think some from the early 1900s, some leather-bound dictionaries. It was really cool. I would have never thought to do anything like that, but I loved it. And then you add your own flair to it. If somebody has every book that I have, they're not gonna have this light or that light, or my plushies up here that I have. And then one of them I made myself, so definitely not gonna have that. You just get to uniquely make it your own. You add your little knickknacks, you add lights, plants. You just get to put your entire personality into it. I rambled a lot, but those are the 10 reasons why you should curate your own library in your home. Whether you're in an apartment, house, you're in a basement, you're in an attic, you're in a studio apartment like me, even if you're living with your parents, like collect books, collect stuff, enjoy reading. There's not a lot of people that will look down on you for reading. And if they do, that's the beauty of reading. You get to leave the nonsense of the real world and enter the beauty of the worlds that you dive into in your books. It's an amazing escape, and it could be either healthy or unhealthy depending on the way you tend to dive into that world. Like, are you cutting out reality and only living in that pseudo reality, or are you taking a break from the monotony or the trauma of everyday life and enjoying the world of books, the world of graphic novels, the world of manga? So I'm rambling once again. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy talking about books, not just manga, but novels, graphic novels, comic books, omnibuses. If it's readable, I'm trying to enjoy it. If I could learn something from it, if it's just a collector's item, special edition, variant covers, all of it's sick. Hard covers, paperbacks, I love it all. Well, subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.